Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to the Fancy Footy Floodbath. 5 or 6 days to go till the footy season starts. How exciting! Can't wait, counting down the minutes, and I cannot wait to see how the teams are picked and what an effect that has it on fantasy teams and what score we can get at the end of round one. So this video today is all about avoiding the round one trap. Now, most of you will be like, what's the round one trap? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so this is not actually my team because when I looked at my team, it didn't fit what I was trying to teach you here. So I had to change around my team to kind of do a mock team. Okay, so here's what is happening this year. And it's a bit worse this year because we have a Wednesday game, which is the Bulldogs and Melbourne. And usually the season starts on the Thursday with the Carlton and Richmond. But this year we have the Wednesday Melbourne Bulldogs game to throw us out a little bit fantasy-wise. Okay, so this is something to be really careful of and be aware of. Listen very carefully to what I'm about to say so that you avoid having problems in round one. Now, usually, as we know, Carlton and Richmond is the first game of the season, and it's not as big of an issue. But now that we've got this Wednesday game, this could be a problem for people if you're not aware of it. Now, can I say first off the bat, what you need to do is finalize your team by Tuesday, okay? By about Tuesday. Or even, you know, when the teams are announced on the Tuesday for the Wednesday game, and write it down. Very important that you write your team down or take a screenshot or whatever you need to do to remember the structure, to remember the players you picked, to remember how your team is set up. Why do I say that? Because what happens, especially with teams that have great players like a Melbourne and a Bulldogs, you're going to get to an hour before the game. There might be a late withdrawal or something, or you're just going to go, right, okay, I have not been putting set and forget in my team with the rucks, but now I want to do set and forget. I want to do Gawn and Grundy, or what do they call it? Gundy, I think is it, or someone's been throwing that combined name around. Or Grawn, is it Grawn? I can't remember. Anyway, someone's been throwing that combined name around. Anyway, you might kind of go, I haven't had a structure that's been set and forget rucks, and now I want it. You know, an hour before the game, I've decided, right, I'm going with Gawn, and Gawn is going to be my man. Now, let's say you've got a team like this. All right. Now, I've got Grundy and Darcy, but you might have anyone in there. You might have Grundy and O'Brien. You might have Grundy and Marshall, blah, blah, blah. And then you decide you want Gawn. Watch what happens when I say I want Max Gawn. Now, this is your team. You've worked so hard to set it up. You've been setting it up for months. You've finally decided that this is the group you want. This is the 30 you want. And now I go, all right, I don't want Darcy anymore. I want Gawn an hour before the game or the day before the game or whatever. Okay, so now this, to some of you, this is going to seem really obvious. And this is going to seem like, you know, yeah, of course I've thought of this stuff. But there'll be a lot of people out there who will go, oh, no, I didn't even think about how this could affect my team. The first thing you got to remember is that those players, once that game starts, for Melbourne and the Bulldogs, are locked. So if I go, I don't want Darcy anymore, or I don't want Marshall anymore, or I don't want O'Brien anymore, I'm going to get Gawn. Okay. Now, I don't have enough money. I've just got rid of Darcy. I've just got rid of, you know, I've got rid of Darcy and I want Gawn, and I've got 798K in the bank, and obviously Gawn's over 900. So what I've got to do now is I've got to start getting rid of other players and changing my whole team and my structure to get Gawn. So now I've got to get rid of Callum Mills. Okay. So I want Gawn, desperately want Gawn. Okay. Let's put Maxi in there. Okay. So now, all right, I'm going to get a cheaper midfielder. That's fine. I've got 809K, blah, blah, blah. Arrow down. Who's 809K? Hurry up. Everyone's saying, hurry up, Nathan, get down to the 800 guys. All right, let's go for Simkin, whatever. Simkin, 61 in the last game, but, he's going to be a pretty good option, I reckon. But a lot of people at the moment are like Simkin. But no, I think he'll be fine. Okay, so now I've had to get going, I've had to change my whole structure around. And it's thrown my team out that I've been organising for 3 months. So, or it might be somebody else. It might be like, let's say, all right, you've got Gone in there and you go, oh, now I'm sold on Treloar. I want Treloar or I want Dunkley and I don't have them. Or I want, it could be anybody. I want Caleb Daniel. I want Clayton Oliver. I want Bontempelli or I want Petrarca. And all of these guys are really tempting. And the closer that game comes, the more you'll go, oh, and the more you'll think about these guys and you'll probably go, oh, gee, actually, he's a really good option. I need to pick him, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to be really careful because picking that guy at the last minute throws your whole team out. So what you've got to do is you got to go, all right, now I have to change everything around. I have to move my structure. And the other thing is the more guys you pick from that Bulldogs Melbourne game, the less flexibility you're going to have when the other teams are announced. Now, when that Wednesday game is on, you're going to have that Carlton Richmond. Let's have a look at, where are we? New share. Okay, let's go to the fixtures. Yes, we want the AFL fixtures for round 1, please. Okay, so the Thursday game is 4:25, right? Hang on, 4:10. So it's 3:30 on the Thursday. Sorry, this is Perth time, so 3 hours behind, or 6:30. You're going to have 40 minutes before the Melbourne Bulldogs game to know who's playing for Carlton and Richmond. Okay, you're going to have 40 minutes and to change your team around. So does that make sense? So then you're going to have, and then the next day, the Carlton Richmond game is 4:25. The teams are announced on the Thursday for the Friday, Saturday games. And I'm not sure about the Sunday games. I can't remember if the Sunday games are announced or the Sunday teams are announced on the Friday or the Thursday. I think they give you the full, they might give you a squad on the Thursday for the Sunday games. And then they trim that to the 22 on the Friday, if I remember rightly. But you're going to have the Friday and the Saturday teams at 3:30 Perth time or 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Brisbane, 6 o'clock in Adelaide, I think. And you're going to have 55 minutes to change your team around. So I hope this is making sense. Now, with the Melbourne Bulldogs, whatever, like I said, whatever players you pick, you are going to be stuck with those guys and it's going to give you less flexibility. So let's say I go with Gawn. I've got Dunkley. Okay. Let's say I want Treloar. Half an hour before the game, I'm thinking, why haven't I thought about Treloar? Treloar's going to be a gun. Okay, so now, oh my goodness. Treloar 700 and something. Probably have to get rid of Thomas. Have I got enough money for Treloar? 689. No, I don't think I do. So that means I've got to change someone else. And it might not be somebody that I want to change. Let's get rid of Finn McGuinness. Okay. So let's go to forwards. Okay, Treloar. 731. Right. And then I got to fill that Finn McGuinness spot as well. How much have I got? 269. Okay. 269. Down we go. Okay, well, this is going to take a while. 3 hours later. It's exciting video watching, isn't it? me arrowing down. Why not just go, oh, who's between 200 and 300? Well, that was a good idea. Yes, good idea. Whoever said that to me, between 200 and 300. Let's go for the price range. Way to navigate the website magnificently, Nathan. Not. Okay. So who we got? Oh, we can't even afford Tristan Cherry. Mr. 110 in that game. What was that about? I said in the other video, for those of you who might miss it, if someone had said to you before that North Melbourne Sydney Amy game and said to you, Tristan Cherry is going to be the top fantasy scorer in this game, you will just be looking at him like, what? Tristan Cherry? How many is he going to get? That was unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen even in a practice game that was unbelievable for a practice game. Oh, I don't know. Let's go for. Oh, geez, it's not raining, is it? Maybe we should go for 190 guy. But do you see what I mean? Like, it's if you start kind of last minuting and changing your players, it's going to throw your whole structure out. Okay. Yeah, let's go for the 190k guys. Sam Skinner, that'll do. And I'll swap him with Nick Martin, I think, because Nick Martin would be better on the ground. It's only my mock team anyway. I don't know why I'm bothering for the sake of this video, just to make a point. Okay, so the other thing is, all right, now I've put in Trelaw, I've put in Gawn, I've had to change to Simpkin, I've had to change Finn McGuinness, and now, okay, it's changed my whole structure around. So you need to have alternative options ready for when guys are not picked. So you might go, all right, well, I'm hoping that some of these rookies will get picked, like a Ralph Smith. I'm hoping Kerno will be fit in time. I'm hoping Sam Hayes will be picked. I'm hoping that Cooper Stevens will be picked, Sam DeConning, Jordan Boyd. Now, you've got to have backup plans and backup guys ready. And all of a sudden, and backup kind of like, if there's not rookies on that line and those guys that you're hoping will play don't play, you need to have backup plans. All right, who am I going to go to if Miller is not fit in time? I need to go to someone who's about a similar price. Might be a Lockie Jones. Let's go to defenders who are between 3 and 4, 100k. Lockie Keefe, no. Mitch Hinge, maybe. Maybe Jake Bowie. Or do I not have enough for him? Oh, I've got to get rid of Miller first. Yeah, so maybe Jake Bowie. All right, but once again, it can't be Jake Bowie because that Bulldogs game is going to be done and you're not going to be able to pick Melbourne and Bulldogs guys. So whatever your contingency plans are or your alternative plans, it can't include Bulldogs and Melbourne guys because that game is going to be gone and you're not going to be able to put in, like, you might go, oh, all of a sudden a good player is not playing, or he's, they're giving him an extra week to get ready. He's not quite there. Let's say Jordan Dawson. Not that many people will probably have him in their team to start with anyway, but you have to have alternative plans that don't include Melbourne and Bulldogs guys because that game is going to be finished. And the other thing is, like, you're going to get those teams at 4:30 on Thursday for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, and not all the Sunday teams are going to be finalised. And then you're going to have to kind of pick from there and have that flexibility. So if you pick a Dunkley, if you pick a McRae, if you pick a Gawn, if you pick a Trelaw, and a Clayton Oliver or whatever, they are set. So you cannot move them. And I know that's really obvious, and a lot of fantasy people will think of that, but there'll be people that'll get to Thursday when the teams are announced or an hour before the Carlton and Richmond game and go, oh, I don't want this guy now. He doesn't fit into my structure. So be really, really careful about picking those guys. And certainly, like, if you've got one of those, if you've got, like, let's say I wanted, let's say I wanted McRae at the last minute instead of Miller. Okay. So let's go back to the mids. Expensive mids, all price mids. Okay. Cray's a good pick too, by the way. All right, so it needs to be someone of similar value. Okay, it needs to be somebody of similar value. So if you're going to pick a Gawn and you've got a cheaper ruckman in there, remember that you're going to have to find extra money elsewhere. Now, as I said, some of this will be really obvious to some of you, and you'll go, oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah. But just remember that it can change your whole structure around. And the amount of times that I've seen people get their teams ready for 3 months, and then they go, right, this is my team, blah, blah, blah. This is the point that I'm trying to make. So please listen carefully to this. In case, with everything else I've said, you haven't quite got my point. You've probably switched off by now anyway. If you haven't quite got my point by yet, you're probably saying, oh, that guy's just rambling. I'm not going to watch any more of this video. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is, right, you've got your structure set, you've got your team set for 3 months, and then you get to half an hour before the game or an hour before the game or the day before the game or whatever, and you see the teams, and then you go, oh, no, I want this guy now instead of this guy, which happens a lot. Last minute changes, people have that kind of decision happening a lot. So it's got to be someone preferably of similar value. Like if I've got a Tom Mitchell and I decide on Wednesday I want Jack Macrae, that's fine because they're almost exactly the same price. If I decide that I want Clayton Oliver instead of Ollie Wines close to Wednesday, that's fine because they're of similar price. And it doesn't affect my structure too much. Whereas if I want Gawn and I've got a Marshall or a Darcy or a Witts, then I'm going to have to find that extra money somewhere else, and it's going to mess with my structure. So be very careful about messing with your structure that you've spent 3 months trying to set up. And remember, there's panic that comes too with teams announcement. All of a sudden you're rushing in the space of an hour before the Carlton-Richmond game goes, because you're like, oh, do I want Dusty? Do I want Charlie Curnow? Do I put in Hewitt? Do I put in Chera? Am I going to run with Patrick Cripps? Okay, so if you haven't made those decisions by the time the game, or by the time the game is, a day away, then you're going to play havoc with your team if you're making them last minute. So you need to really decide, and you need to build it. If you're going to decide those things, you need to probably decide all your structure a day before. And then if there's rookies missing and you need to pay more for guys and pay up a little bit more, then you can adjust accordingly, but have backup plans, lots of backup plans, guys. Very, very important to have backup plans, because teams when the teams are announced, everyone goes into panic mode and goes, oh no, the guy that I wanted there is not there. So what am I going to do? So then all of a sudden you get to Saturday. This is what happens. All of a sudden you get to Saturday and you go, the team that I've picked looks nothing like the team I've had for the last 3 months, because I've been forced into picking this guy and this guy and this guy, which I didn't really even want. And that's become because you haven't prepared a structure and you haven't placed like for like price guys together, or replaced like for like price guys. All of a sudden you've wanted someone who's a lot more expensive in that spot than you had before, and then you've had to change someone else, and then as a result of changing that guy, you've had to change another guy. So just be really aware. I hope that all makes sense. I've been going through all this in my mind for about the last month, trying to figure out a best way to explain all of this. And you might have understood me completely. I'm a bit of a details guy. You might have understood completely what I'm trying to say. And because you've done the game before, that, last minute. I'll throw this in for free. I've always found that the guy you pick in the last hour never works. It never works. The trade you make in the last hour before the game starts, before the weekend starts, before the rolling lockout begins, it never works. And the amount of times I've done that, and then, I've been sitting with the guy watching the scores at halftime and he's got 20. I traded him in, or, and it's thrown my other structure out or whatever. And I've just gone, why did I do that? The best plans are the ones that are, I reckon, thought about ahead of time, that are organized ahead of time, that are organized in advance. If you're doing it on the fly, on the run, or just reactionary based on what you're seeing with the teams, or based on what you're seeing with, last minute, trying to rush it all through, it plays havoc with your team. And the people that hold their nerve and are organized the best and have set their structure up best are usually the ones that succeed. So I hope that's helped you and not confused you more. If you've got any questions, please send them to me in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them the best I can. So yeah, I'm gonna just believe by faith that you guys helped from that video. Okay, we'll be doing some more videos soon, getting ready for round 1, and they're on their way. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the subscribing, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye. 5 days to go, 6 days to go. Yeah.